So, the latest updates on the front line we will discuss with the military expert, the president of American University Kyiv, Dan Rice. Hello and welcome.
Hello. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for finding some time for our Spotlight Ukraine. So, Ukraine prepares the spring counteroffensive with insufficient amount of weapons and ammunitions. That's the analyst of Institute of Study of War reports. So, how successful would the counteroffensive be in this case?
Well, I know that the team over at the Institute of the Study of War, and I went to a dinner with them recently. I think they're phenomenal with their research. I disagree with that assessment. I think you never have enough. You always want more. But I do believe that the Ukraine military is stronger, better trained, and better resourced than it was a year ago. And I do think that a counteroffensive can will be very successful. I think that the Kherson and the Kharkiv offensives that happened in the fall could be overshadowed significantly by this counteroffensive, which could be even more strategic and really hopefully a knockout punch to the Russian army.
In one of the latest interviews to Ukrainian media, you said that the Ukrainian army waits for the right time to launch the successful counterattack. Should we wait it this spring, this fall, or maybe should we just wait till the next year?
Well, I'm no longer the special advisor to General Zaluzhny since I'm focused just on American University of Kyiv and launching a number of programs that we're launching at this amazing university. So I don't have any intelligence on exactly where or when it'll occur. But from my opinion, and I've met with the generals, American generals in Germany and in Pentagon, and I'm very familiar with what's going on in the war. I do think Putin has made every mistake in the book, and attacking in February 22 was the wrong month, wrong time for an offensive armored force to try to go through Ukraine. Same thing as currently. I mean, you're seeing the Russians make the wrong offensive time at the wrong time. We need the ground to harden with the sun in order to have armored forces spread out on the plain. And I do believe the Ukrainian military is stronger, bigger, better than it was a year ago. And at the appropriate time, there will be a counteroffensive. The big question is not really when or where is important, and I don't have any intelligence on that, but I could venture some guesses. But that wouldn't be appropriate for operational security. I do think that the question is, will it be enough to win this year? And I think the Ukrainian military, the U.S. military, and NATO are preparing for a long war and hoping for a short war. So hopefully this will be a major counteroffensive that can knock out and envelop and destroy the Russian army.
Even comparing to what happened last fall in Kherson and Kharkiv regions?
Hopefully, I think there's much more capability now in the Ukrainian military. And I think they're stronger, better training in the UK and in France and in Poland. And it's been an amazing international effort of 65 countries to support Ukraine. And so the Ukrainian military is better trained, already incredibly the most combat effective army in all of Europe. And so now with all of the support from the West, I do believe that there is enough combat capability to have a knockout blow. Question will be whether it's the size of Kharkiv or Kherson, or whether it's even bigger. And hopefully a degraded Russian army that's losing 25,000 dead every month and losing 60, 75,000 wounded every month. By the time the counteroffensive happens, I think you'll see a much weakened army that hopefully will collapse.
And that's a good question. How weak the Russian army is comparing to what we saw just a year ago?
Well, I mean, if you can imagine the perception of the Russian army on February 23rd, 2022, when the whole world, including military experts, thought that Kyiv would fall within a week. And now a year later, they've taken, estimates are 165,000 dead, 300,000 wounded. You're looking at 500,000 Russians wounded or dead, and they've lost all of their young officers, and so any combat capable officers gone. So you're looking at a conscript army that's leaderless versus a Ukrainian military that won the Battle of Kyiv and is much stronger this year. So I mean, if you're going to make a prediction, you have to say that the Ukrainian military is likely to destroy the Russian army. And the Russian army has zero combat capability to go on offensive operations at this point.
But still, taking into consideration what you've just said, the U.S. officials warned that Russia prepares for another offensive in the upcoming couple of weeks or maybe a month ahead, and probably it could be multi-directional. How threatening is that?
Well, Hitler was preparing offensives in April of 1945.
That's a good
That didn't work out too well. So, you can plan for all these things, but the reality is they just don't have the vehicles, they don't have the troops, they don't have the training. You can dream this up and you can mobilize, 500,000 Russians. And, obviously it's horrible for the Ukrainian soldiers to have to face large human waves of Russian troops coming at them. But from a strategic standpoint, the Russians just don't have the combat capability. They've proven to be much weaker, and the Ukrainian military has proven to be much, much, much stronger. And now with the full weight of the West behind Ukraine and all the training and the equipping and the intelligence and the weapons, the Ukrainian military is so much stronger than it was a year ago. And the Russian military has not only proven weaker, it's proven to be poorly led, and really just more vicious and more of a Russian horde of rapists, looters, and murderers than it is actually an army. It's not an effective army. I mean, this is not an army, and a professional army would never behave the way the Russians do, and it's only getting worse as they die in massive numbers. I think there will be a strategic counteroffensive, and the question will be: is it a knockout blow, or is it just will it help progress the war so that in 2024 we win?
Thank you. Thank you once again for being the guest of Spotlight Ukraine. Dan Rice, the president of American University Kyiv and the military expert, was on air right now.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Latest news, trends, and analytics on all about Ukraine. Like, share, and subscribe. Any questions, proposals, and comments, contact us via email.